Summer 19, I just broke up with my girl. Half a decade a couple, yeah, she was my whole world. But as it happens with your first great love, you get older and start to grow apart. Try to stay friends, even though it hurt. Nothing changed, the bridge was already burned. She said I didn't love her enough, but I had to let her go because I loved her too much. I was just starting to find my way, and all the tears and heartbreak led to leave or stay. Yeah, I wrote this song before I made my first beat, before I even knew what equipment I need. That idea was stuck in my head. What if I start making music? What if I start to rap? Back then I wasn't sure what to expect, but deep inside I knew it made sense. Music has surrounded me throughout my whole life. Grandma taught me to play the piano when I was 5. Early on I learned the value of music, an incredible gift. No way I wouldn't use it. Writing I discovered at the age of 19. Inspired by Dali I wrote my first short story. But with poems I could let my soul speak, and for the first time I felt free. Life is hard to understand. Sometimes it helps to have a plan. And should you ever have a little luck, don't expect too much. Happy New Year, it's 2020. Here's to no longer feeling empty. Spent New Year's Eve alone in a hotel suite, writing sad eyes, still figuring out how to make beats. 2 months later I released my first song. I thought the whole world will sing along. However, after a couple of weeks, barely any views or streams. Okay, I need to work on my craft, the next song was out. Still not enough, it was all for a reason. Left my comfort zone alive, asked how much more, and danced one more time. Ready for a risk, quit my job and packed my bag. Set off on a journey when fall came back. Traveled thousands of miles, hundreds of impressions, dozens of cities, a handful of connections. Writing lyrics in various establishments while producing my musical accompaniment. It was time to leave my chateau and record my album in a studio. But much like the winter with its merciless cold, my journey had almost come to a close. Far from home, I brought my work to life. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Life is hard to understand. Sometimes it helps to have a plan. And should you ever have a little luck, don't expect too much. 2021, it's now or never. Excitement turned quickly into pressure. Had just released my greatest work so far. Expected nothing less than #1 in the charts. Nothing happened. I felt depressed, but I still had unfinished business left. 1 exam to pass, I took out my books, graduated in spring and closed the chapter for good. What's next now that I had a degree? I was free to move out of the country. No earnings from my music, so I had to look for jobs. The more I wanted freedom, the more I felt lost. Like I'm wasting my youth, detached myself from life, and got the asteroid blues once again. Music was all I had left, another journey, maybe, might as chance. Back to the studio, recorded my EP. Happy for a minute, but tired of uncertainty. Suddenly, while being on the road, I figured why not move to the country I was born. It made sense, at least for the time being. Finally, a new beginning. Off to my next destination, arrived with great hopes and even greater expectations. Life is hard to understand. Sometimes it helps to have a plan. And should you ever have a little luck, don't expect too much.